Hey Stampers, Diane Dimich here with DDStamps.com, and I am hoping that I am live and going out there, that you can hear and see me. If you can, pop into the comment section and let me know that you're there. Oh, I'm going to lose my mouse now. Darn it. Typical. I'm hoping that I'm live and that somebody's out there. Anyway, I just want to thank you all for showing up tonight. I've got a couple of cool things to show you if I can get my mouse to work. Yay! Janice here. She can hear and see me. That's great. Cindy's here. Denise is here. Holly's here. Yay! All right. So that means I'm obviously live. And I don't have any idea if it worked on both YouTube and Facebook. I'm assuming. I see most people are commenting from YouTube, so obviously that is working. And if YouTube or Facebook didn't work, I actually told people in the comments to click on YouTube and come on over here, and we can get it going. So cool. All right, so tonight I'm going to show, if I could get my mouse to work. Oh, there. Maybe now it'll work. I don't know. Why is it I always struggle? Struggle. Anyway,
don't know how to switch cameras without my mouse. So hopefully it was working right up until, there we go. Right up, there we go. Okay, I'm going to switch cameras here so I can actually see your comments. I love this about this now. I figured out how to bring the comments into my video so I can actually read them, talk to you. So if you have questions, please put them in there. I will be able to check them as the night goes on. It's going to be pretty quick tonight. Well, not that quick, but I was going to tell you I took a class last night from another demonstrator over in the UK. And it was about coloring. And I have kind of gotten into coloring with my blends lately. And so I thought, well, I'm just going to take this class and see what he will teach. And so that is actually some of the stuff I learned last night I'm going to show tonight because it was really fun. It was a fun class. It's always fun to learn from somebody else just because everybody does things differently. And it's fun to look outside the box. When I look at my blends, I always look at them in pairs, dark and light, and I use those colors. And what he really was doing was going outside the box and using blending colors together, not necessarily of the same, like cherry cobbler light and dark. He was using sweet sorbet light with cherry cobbler, and I just love the look. So anyway, that's what I'm going to show tonight. I'm just going to show a couple of things that I learned, and then hopefully you will learn from that too. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited about. Good. People can hear and see me. Yay. All right. So I'm really excited about being able to see and being able to share this with you. So I'm going to go to my craft table so we can just get right into it. And I will show you some of the stuff I learned. So if you have questions, feel free to put them in the comments. If not, when I come back over on the screen, and hopefully when I walk over here, my mic is still working. I actually forgot to put it on earlier. Oh, good. I put new batteries in it too, so that helps. So the stamp set that I'm going to use tonight is Festive and Fun out of the Holiday Mini Catalog. And this was actually one of those stamp sets that is not my style whatsoever, but the minute that I saw it, I loved it. And I'm beginning to think that maybe these funky animals are my style, and things just changed. So this is the stamp set that I'm going to use, and I'm going to use an assortment of blends, and I will kind of talk about them here in a minute. But I already stamped. I just am using basic white cardstock with Memento ink with your blends, and I stamped this earlier because I was going to color with it when I got home from work today, but didn't really have time to do what I was doing. One of the things I wanted to show you with the blends that I'm using tonight, I'm using lots of different colors, but I'm also using the natural tone stamping blends, and a lot of people don't even know that they're in here. So they're back. So the regular blends, let's see, are oh, you got to go farther. Sorry. So the regular blends can be found on the pages with our colors, and they have, you know, the Stampin' Blends at the bottom, and then the numbers, and you get light and you get dark, light and dark as a set of 2 blends. And then we have a couple down here, bronze and ivory, black, and then a color lifter. Oh, I'm not showing you that. So anyway, the bronze and ivory and the color lifters are down on this side. However, when you turn the page to, I suppose now I lost it. Page 136 in the catalog is another set of blends, and these are kind of getting lost, and that's one of the things that I really learned last night. I hadn't really used much of them except for skin tones, which is great, but you can also use them for all different kinds of coloring. And so there's the natural tone Stampin' Blends are here. They do come as a set of 2. I'm going to talk about them not as deep, medium, light, and light, but as numbers, because when we first got them, these were numbered. So like the Stampin' Up 700 and the Stampin' Up 500 are what I'm using, and it's actually 2 different colors. One in the, so the higher the number, the lighter the color. But so this is a medium color, and this is a medium light or a light color. But I'm going to use them together to blend with. So anyway, it's just another set of blends that people forget we have. I forget we have. and another way to do things. So I'm going to show this giraffe because he's really cute. One of the things that I was taught last night is to really look outside the box. So for instance, I'm going to still use 2 colors, especially for the areas that are quite small on an image. If I had a larger area, and you'll see that when I do the tree, instead of only using 2 colors, which is what I've normally done, I will bring in 3 colors. So for instance, on the star, I'm going to use 2 colors, but it's going to be a dark daffodil delight and a dark wild wheat. And it's just, to me, I would never have blended these together until I went outside the box. For the tree, I'm going to use the dark and light mossy meadow. And then I'm going to bring in some light old olive where I get my 3 different colors. You get your shade, your dark shade, your medium tone, and then your light tone to blend it all together. This one was the one that I really was surprised at, and I love this combination. It's light sweet sorbet with dark cherry cobbler, and I just love how it looks. So I'm bringing also dark and light copper clay, dark and light pecan pie, and then again, like I said, with these natural tones, Stampin' Up! 500 and Stampin' Up! 700. And like I said, they're numbered kind of weird. They're not numbered like that in the book. They're called medium, dark, medium. So anyway, we're just going to go ahead and get started on this giraffe. And I guess I'll start down here with this little box, this box that holds the ornaments. And hopefully, I'm hoping that I keep my head out of the way and am able to color so you can see. So what I would do with the dark copper clay is come in, and you're going to look for your light source, where your light source would come in and where the shading would be. So the dark copper clay is going to get put right under the holly here, on the back of the handle, just a little bit. And then in these little spots in the basket where the ornaments, there's a little spot inside there. And once you've done that, and you'll notice tonight that I'm mostly using the bullet point because it's easiest for me to control. Once you've done that, then you're just going to pull that and color it in. Like that. And then this handle, which is really thin. And again, I'm just using 1 color. If I wanted to, I think I want this to be a little bit darker. And if I'm using my blends fairly quickly and it stays wet, I don't have to do a whole ton of blending because it will blend itself out. The other thing that you can do is once you've done this and you've let it dry a little bit, you can actually come in with the same marker and give it a little bit more shade, because as you put color on top of color, it brings in that next shade. So really super simple. So there's the box. I'm going to come in with my holly leaves, and this one is kind of interesting. I'm going to use the dark, and I'm just going to put a little bit of dark at the tips of the holly, and then I'm going to come in with the old olive, and that's going to be the color that I'm going to blend out. And it just gives you, so I did still a little bit of shading up there underneath the holly berries. And then the holly berries, I'm going to just take a little sweet sorbet and just, because that is such a tiny spot, I'm just going to do just the sweet sorbet. I'll come in with my cherry cobbler, and I'm actually going to do these ornaments. So like this one on the side here, I'm going to just do a little bit of dark along the edge and along the edge of that. Wherever there would actually be a shadow, that will have a shadow from the handle. This one would have a shadow down below. And then once I've got that shadowed, then I'm going to come in with my sweet sorbet and just pull that color a little bit. This one we're just going to color the whole thing. But you can just see, and then it starts to blend out, and you've got just a really cool look to your ornaments. They don't look so flat. They have, you know, a little bit of dimension to them. Same thing with this one here. We'll do a little bit of dark at the bottom, and then come in I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to pull that up to the camera higher so you can actually see how that blends in and looks. And the part I liked about the class was that it wasn't like really fussy coloring. It was really just some basic coloring. I'm going to do this ornament too. And it actually went fairly quickly. So I really did like that about it. So there you have just some really quick ornaments done. Next we're going to do this stem and the pot. And I think on that I'm going to use some pecan. So I'm going to come in with my darker pecan. And you know that this stem here is going to be dark. And this one could be dark. And then inside the pot is dark. And then underneath the bow and in the insides of the bow, where there'll be a shadow, is going to be dark. And then I'm going to come in with my light pecan and blend that out. And do the same thing here. And if you want it to be a little bit more highlighted, you can just go back in with just a little bit more dark. And it gives it just gives it a little bit of dimension, which is great. So that was pretty quick. We're going to do the same thing with the bow here, and the bow is going to be green. It's going to be mossy meadow. So I'll do my tips in the middle, and then the tips that hang down, and then I'm going to come in when I have a really small line, fine line. 2 colors is good. But what I found is go with 2 colors that are like totally different. And then you can see the shading and you can see the shadowing. I love that. All right. We're going to just work our way up. Let's do the tree because that's kind of this was kind of the one that was just eye-opening for me, I guess. I'm going to start with my my light old olive. And with this tree, I'm going to kind of work it into thirds. I'm going to bring in the old olive and I'm going to highlight the tips of the tree because they would definitely be the lightest. They would see the most sun. And I'll do these tips in here. And I'll do this tip there. And really, it's okay. It doesn't matter how thick your line is because we're going to do some covering up. Once I've done that, then I'm going to come in with some dark. And like under this branch would be dark. Under this branch would be dark. Under these branches would definitely be dark. And then I'm going to come in, after I've done my old olive and my dark mossy meadow, I'm going to come in with my light mossy meadow, and I'm going to blend that out a little bit. And I want to leave just a little bit of a line, like down so it's kind of highlighted along the branch. And these branches all have a little bit of a highlight. Oops, that one doesn't. Where I leave some of that old olive really showing through to give that branch a highlight. It's not easy coloring in this position. All right, so once I've done the bottom, you can see how this starts to, you can blend out if this is too dark in some areas, you can always blend it out a little bit. I'm going to do the same thing up here and color around that ornament so I don't get it all green. Color this in. And then I can let this dry a little bit if I choose to. And then bring in a little bit more dark. Using that same medium tone marker. And then we'll go to the next section. So we'll start with the lightest color. Put a lighter color down. Really, the more ink that you have down on your cardstock to begin with, you don't want to get it too saturated, but the more it's saturated, the better the blend is. We'll color that. We'll just go for the whole thing here. What the heck? And then come in with your dark, and your dark would be under that branch, under this branch, maybe under that branch, a little bit under the ornament, a little bit under this ornament. And then we'll come in with our lightest color and blend the whole thing. Leaving a little bit, oh, that's not the color I wanted. I want this color. Good thing it's forgiving. It's very forgiving. So we're going to leave a little bit of that old olive, that light old olive, highlighting those branches right at the tips of them. And then come up here, do the same thing, add a little bit of color here. And then, like this under here is not very good. It didn't blend out very good. I must have let it dry. So, you know, the nice thing about blends is they're very forgiving. You can go in and add more color into it. So really, like I said, it's pretty simple. So we're going to do the same thing with some yellow. I'm going to add a little bit of dot of yellow, which actually is the wheat, onto these ornaments where there would be some shading. And then I'm coming in, this time I'm using dark wheat, wild wheat, and dark Daffodil Delight, which again, these are colors that I never would have put together. And you can't really see a lot of that, but it just gives those ornaments a little bit of dimension. I'm going to do the same thing with the star. So I'm coming in with my wheat, and the shading on my star is going to be on this side, and this side, and this side, and this side, and that side. And once I've got that on there, then I'm going to come in with my Daffodil Delight and just add some in there. And it just gives that little bit of a pop to the star. And then let's do the hat, kind of the same thing. We're going to start where there would be a shade. There would be a shade on this hat coming around that way. And then there would be a shade on this hat down here in the corner. And then come in with your Sweet Sorbet, which I love these two colors together. And you've made that hat just pop a little bit. Pretty simple. So pecan pie, we're going to come in with pecan pie for, we're going to use dark for the spots on the giraffe. And I didn't really do shading. He didn't either because they were so small. I mean, you could, but I just think that because that's just a small piece, you don't need a whole lot of shading. But I will shade the rest of him. And then I've got some samples to show you of some other things that I did in that class using the same set. And I'm going to actually put together a sampler for Christmas. So I used pecan pie on the dots, on the spots. And I'm going to bring in, this is when I'm going to bring in those two colors that I probably would never have used on a giraffe, but it's the Stampin' Up! 500 and the Stampin' Up! 700, which is, one is medium light. And I'm going to take the darker color, and this is what I'm going to use to blend. And so I'm going to come along here, along his cheek would be a little bit darker, and around his nose, and then down the side, the left side of his body would be shaded. I'm just going to do that much for right now, and I'll finish the rest, but I don't want it to dry. And then I'm using the 500, which is really kind of orangey. And I'm just coloring him in. It's just really a different look. And with just that little tiny bit down the side of this, with this marker down the side, it just really gives it a little bit of shading, just enough to give him a little dimension. I'm going to come around his arm. This arm would be darker because it's under. And then down around his rear here, and down his leg, and down this leg, because that would be shaded too. And then under his arm here would be shaded. You might even be able to shade a little bit of his belly there. And then just color in the rest. But it just gives some real dimension. I found last night that it made me look at the catalog a little bit differently and find some other stamp sets that would be fun to color with. This is the one I picked today because this is one I used last night in the class. But I also pulled out an apple set that I thought, oh, that'd be fun, because the apples are a little bit bigger, so you would use more of your 3 tones. So there is, I'm going to do his hoof. I think I'll do his hoof and pecan. He's got a little hoof here, and I'm not going to put a lot. And right there. Oh, I didn't do his ear. So his ear, we're going to come in with the lighter color, and then we'll just add just a touch up that, there's a line there, just to give it a little bit of pizzazz there. But there's a way to do some coloring, do some highlighting, and then use some different techniques, different colors together. I'm really trying to think outside the box. This was a really fun class. All right, so I'm back here. I can answer some questions. Jana Ripley says, when I tried to take off the cover of one of my blends, the whole tip came with it. Has that ever happened to you? Yes, it has. So one of the things that you can do, I would recommend that if it happens soon after you purchase them, either contact me or contact Stampin' Up! And they'll replace it. But it does pop right back in. You want to make sure, I don't know which one of mine pops out easy, not this one. But you can pop them back in. You just want to make sure that tube is in there, and then push it in there really hard, and it should be fine. I've had it happen maybe on 1 or 2 of my blends, not too terrible. But does anybody else have any questions? This would be a good time to ask. All right. I don't see any more questions, so I'm going to swing back over to my craft table, if I can get there. This mouse is too funny. All right, so really super easy, fun coloring. Let me show you a couple of the cards that I did. You can see the difference. Okay, so this is another one that I did in my class last night. I love the shading on the bows, where the presents are. It's just really made things pop. And I'll show you one, not that I am a terrible colorer, because I'm not, but it, like I said, it made me see the difference, where I'm just using 2 colors for the most part. When I go to using 3 colors or more in each of the different areas, it just really makes that whole thing pop. I loved that. Here's the one I did this afternoon when I was playing. You can see on this one where my tree is highlighted a little bit more because I just didn't bring that green down as far, but it's fine. I love it. I just love how it looks. And I find it interesting that my giraffe there is orange. I'll show you a couple giraffes. These are projects. You guys are going to get a little sneak peek, because this is my tutorial for next month. This is one I did with, I colored this before I took the class. This was the first one I did. This was the second one I did. Made the card, and then I colored this one in the class, and you can just see the difference. This one, I really worked hard trying to figure out the shading, and it's not that it's that hard, I was making it hard. That was part of the problem. The giraffe that I did, so on this one I did pretty good because I did my darker down beneath the branches, but on this one you'll see that I made my branches dark, and they were actually lighter if you're looking at it. But I did some shading. I did okay. I like this one. This is another one I did with the giraffe. I did a lot with the giraffe because I think he's adorable. Where I shaded my tree, you know, dark branches. I would flip that around. The things we learn. This is the moose that I did this in the class. And this is a moose that I just colored before I took the class, but I did some shading on that. But I really like this, like the sweater. You can tell that I used 3 colors for this sweater. And this one, I used cherry cobbler, light and dark, and there's not that big of a difference. But I'm probably going to go back and use cherry cobbler and sweet sorbet because I just really think that combination is awesome. And then, so this card here kind of opens up, just a fancy fold. And then I did some more with the beaver and another moose. Again, I tried again with that colors. I used 2 different colors of red. This time I used Poppy Parade, and it's fine, but I think if I brought in a 3rd color, darker, it would really make that sweater change. These are cute too. These are just another little fun fold. So these are my tutorials for October. Guys got a little sneak peek there. And then these are the cards I did. And now next week when I do I was going to make a card. You're right. I didn't do that. So I've got a piece of Poppy Parade here, and I cut it in half and folded it in half. And that's going to give me my card base. And this paper, which is the paper called Merry, Bold, and Bright. It's these really bright colors. These are what I used for my tutorial for next month. You saw them in that other, it's in the holiday mini catalog. But I really liked them with this stamp set. And the nice thing is that all of the papers on one side is kind of Christmassy, the other side is not. So you can really use this year round. But we're going to use the Fa La La paper and lay this on the card here. And I actually just cut a 4x4 square right onto the same Poppy Parade. And I chopped down this giraffe down and then got a piece of the Daffodil Delight because I kind of wanted the yellows in the Christmas balls and the star to pop a little bit. Know that when you color with blends, you are going to have that on the back of your cardstock. It does bleed through, and it depends on how hard, like this, how hard you're coloring, how much ink is getting down. So make sure you have a protective thing on your table that you're working on so that you don't have blends on your table. And the reason I say that is because I have been known to do that. I'm going to pop this up with a couple of dimensionals just for the fun of it. I'm not even going to add ribbon or anything to this. I don't think it needs it. So I have to learn to not say Anybody got any tips for that? How to keep your train of thought without using the And I'll just add this onto the front. And that's cute. Good enough for Christmas. I do have let's see where. This one here, you can see where I put some embellishments on there. These little sparkly gems and they would be cute on there too. But just a totally different look for the same stamp set. So that's awesome. All right. Oh goodness. Okay, it looks like I have some questions that I need to. Jewel, your blends leaked out all over my card and ruined it. I wonder why. Unless you're pressing really hard. What I found with my blends is that they do not have to press hard at all. That ink is flowing. And that I prefer the bullet tip because the brush tips are too wet and too flaky, I guess. Not even flaky, but I like the bullet tip to have more control. yes, you could use, Cindy, you could use Wink of Stella on the card, on the star, and it would be really cute. In fact, I think I will do that. Just to give it a little bit of sparkle without a lot of work. So let's see if I can find my Wink of Stella. I haven't used Wink of Stella for a while. Yeah. You guys can't see it, but it just really does make it a cute little card. I might even put some on my ornaments too, because I like Wink of Stella. All right, so you're free to ask questions. I'm right here so I can see them. I do see that I didn't show up on YouTube or Facebook. I only showed up on YouTube, but yeah. It is Denise, it's an adorable stamp set. I love it. And I love it with that paper. It's just so cute. A couple of things. Just want to remind you that Stampin' Up! Is having a free virtual card making event October 7th, which is happening next weekend. Not this coming weekend, but the following weekend. And it's free. And you can just sign up and it'll all show up on the internet. They'll send you a link. And I'm going to attend. I always learn something. I love watching other demonstrators or other staff members stamp and teach me new techniques or whatnot. So you have to sign up though. Go to the Stampin' Up! Website. You have to sign up. This month's tutorial uses the Fruitful Blessings, and I will actually show that. Just so you're aware, the tutorial goes out to anybody that places an order with me. The packet of goodies with the paper and the cardstock and the ribbon and the embellishments, whatever I used in that tutorial, actually goes out to everybody the following month, because it just depends on how long it takes me to get the products. So let me clear a spot here, and I'm just going to show quickly the cards using the God, I keep saying sorry, Fruitful Blessings stamp set. And I'm using the autumn paper. Now the autumn paper is right now back ordered, and I don't know if I will have it in time for my packets, but you'll certainly get paper that will be compatible and work. I love this card. This just uses a couple of strands of the ribbon, this ribbon here, which you'll get in the packet, and then these embellishments. My newest favorite embossing folder is this one. And somebody's probably going to ask me what it's called, and I don't know, but somebody in the comments might know which one this is. It's in the Holiday Mini Catalog. I can pull out a catalog and look it up if nobody knows the answer. Again, I use the blends to color all of these cards, and now that I've taken that class, I'm like, ooh, I would do things differently. Like I would use 3 different colors into these flowers instead of just moody mauve in light and dark. Same with the pears. I would just add so much more dimension to it with the different colors of blends and the highlighting. And one of the things about Stampin' Up! Stamps is they actually give you the highlights. So like these where it's got the extra lines, that just means it's darker there. And so it really helps me as a demonstrator or a stamper to know that those edges need to be darker than the middle of the pear. So that their stamps help with that. I love this paper because it's got the copper going through it. Some of it is very, very shiny. And then these were just some simple cards I put together because this paper was so pretty. It didn't need much more. And then again, the copper ribbon is beautiful. And here I did use a couple different colors in the flower here. And it's beautiful, but I think I'm going to pull this stamp set out tonight and color a little bit more with it. So that's the tutorial for September. Denise wants to remind people, don't forget to like my video. Because like, share, to get the word out to people. So that's great. Thank you, Denise, for that reminder. I think that's it. I think I'm good. If anybody has any questions, ask me now. I'm going to do another live next Wednesday. And each Wednesday, I think I'm just going to show a technique. So if you have any suggestions or pop it in the comments. I mean, do whatever, and it will help me to kind of make. I'm trying to get back into doing the live videos and sharing what this is, because this is what I love to do. So it would help if I know what kinds of questions you have. There's lots to be learned and lots for me to be relearned. So if there are no, Jules has a question here. It was the alcohol, not only one, but several when I stored them laying down. That is so weird. I have not heard of that happening. I don't know. I've never heard that happen. I'm really sorry that happened. I hope that I was able to get the information out there that I was doing this. And I don't want to Facebook. It is. Oh, my mic is cutting out. I wonder why. Sorry about that. It's probably because I'm sitting on it. So, anyway, thank you very much. Take care, and you guys have a great night. Bye.